All right, today we're going to talk about weather. We're going to start weather. So who can tell me what kinds of weather we have? Raising your hand. Lake, what's the type of weather we have?
Sunny.
What?
Sunny.
Sunny. Good. Bailey.
Fall.
No, that's a season. Sunny is a type of weather. Marley.
Sunny.
We already said sunny. Landon.
No.
Snowy. That's another good one. Eduardo.
Forgot.
Forgot. Allie.
Rain.
Rain.
Like
Rainy.
hard,
Yes, hard rain. Yes. Levi.
Stormy.
Stormy. Kind of goes with rainy, but yes.
I remember it.
What, baby?
Snowy.
We already said
I
snowy.
said that.
All right. One more. Julian, what's another type of weather?
Cloudy.
Cloudy. Yes, cloudy is another type of weather. Today, though, we're going to focus more on the sun. So, if we compare hot and cold, who can tell me what they think happens when something gets really, really hot? Michael, what happens when something gets really, really hot?
We get sweaty and go inside.
It gets what?
We get sweaty.
You get sweaty. What happens to like more of like an object? Like Blake,
It gets hot.
it gets hot. Brielle, anything else?
Like fire. Popsicles melt.
Popsicles melt. Is popsicles the only thing that can melt from the sun though?
Yeah.
No.
Ice
Ice cream can
No,
melt.
man. No.
So there's lots of
Ice can
stuff.
melt.
Okay.
No can melt. No,
Guys, you raise your hand. All right. Now what happens when it gets really cold? What happens?
When
Jude.
comes.
What happens when things get really when or rains, or it can freeze, right? All right. So now, now we know that the sun can make things melt. We are gonna test and see what items. I have different items here. We're gonna see what items can melt in the sun. Our different items, I have rocks. I have a piece of chocolate.
Milk. Yeah.
I have Play-Doh.
You. No.
I have crayons,
No.
Lego,
No.
a penny,
No milk.
some cheese,
No.
and then I'm not going to lift it up, but butter is another thing I have in here. So we are going to predict or guess what we think is going to melt.
Butter.
So if I am holding this, can anyone tell me, is this a solid or a liquid? Solid. Why is it a solid?
Because it cannot melt.
It can, well,
Solid can't melt.
a solid can melt into a liquid, but a solid has a shape. Does this have a shape? Yes. Now, the water in Landon's water bottle, does it have a shape? If it's just on the table, does water have a shape? No. That's what makes it a liquid. Sorry, Landon.
Yes.
All right, so we are going to, the first one up here is, I can't read mine, butter. How many of you, raise your hand, think butter is going to melt? Raise your hands high if you think butter is going to melt, so I can see. You can count. 1, 2, 3, 4. About 14. Not everyone thinks butter's going to melt. All right. The next one is going to be chocolate. How many think that chocolate is going to melt after being outside in the sun? Don't stand on your chair. Sit down. $17. All right, let's check the next one. Oh, the rock. How many of you think rocks can melt?
Wow.
How How many think rocks can melt? Raise your hand. One? One person thinks the rock might melt?
Nope. Who thinks it'll melt?
All right. Penny. How many think the penny is going to melt?
One.
Do not learn. Do you think the penny is going to melt, Eduardo? Yes? All right. Lego. How many think the Lego could melt? 6? All right. And the Play-Doh. Does anyone think the Play-Doh is going to melt? A lot.
Probably gonna melt.
14. All right. And then the crayon.
I made a crayon
11.
heart. I made a crayon heart.
Guys, we should be at 0. You should only be raising your hand if you need to speak. And then cheese.
One.
16.
Yeah. That's a lot of people.
All right. So we didn't get everyone on all of the phones. Hey, who's talking? There should be no talking. All right. So while you guys were at recess, I actually did have put the objects outside. So what we are going to do is we are now going to sit down on the rug and we are going to see which of our items have melted. So everyone needs to sit up, push their chair in, and have a seat on the floor. All right, everyone sit down. Ashley and Bailey, you don't get to sit by each other. Sit down, right there. Perfect. Sit down. All right. The first item we're going to look at is the penny. Now, I can still hold it. Did it melt? Did anything happen to it?
No.
No.
Because it's metal.
It's metal. It did not melt whatsoever. All right. Our Lego.
No.
Did it melt?
No.
Why don't you think it melted?
Because it's not plastic.
It's not metal. What is
It's
it?
plastic.
It's plastic. Hey, go sit down
Plastic
away.
doesn't really melt.
Plastic doesn't, well, it can melt. Do you think some of these items could probably melt if it was hotter? Yes, if it was hotter, I bet plastic would melt.
Maybe if it was higher.
All right. Next item is the crayons. Did the crayons melt?
No.
But do you think the crayons could melt if it got hotter?
Yeah.
Yes. All right, now the Play-Doh. It did not melt, but I'm going to let you guys feel this one. So pass it around. What happened to the Play-Doh? Pass it around.
It got mushy.
No.
It got squishy. It got dry.
It got dry. Good, Levi. When Play-Doh heats up, it doesn't really melt. It gets dry. Just pass it around. It's okay. Everyone will get to touch it.
No.
All right. The next one is the rock. Did it melt?
Rock didn't melt.
No. Rock did not melt.
It's still dry. I think I have a few pops stuck in my pocket.
Okay, the next one is, I'm not going to hold the rest up because these ones actually did all melt. The cheese even melted. This one I can actually pick up because it hardened too while it melted. The cheese. Can you tell that it melted?
Yeah. I knew it.
Yes, the cheese melted. the sun, it was out for probably about 20 minutes. And so do you think it would have melted even more if we would have left it out? Think we would have left it melted more?
Yeah.
All right.
I want to see the chocolate.
All right, I'm going to have to,
Chocolate.
hold on. The next one is the butter.
Butter.
I'm just going to have you guys, everyone stand up and get in a circle. I'm just going to, in a circle around.
The what?
In a circle around. A circle. Come on, get in a circle. Back up. And I'm just going to, who has the Play-Doh? Thank you, Michael. Okay, I'll let you guys touch it later. We have time later. I'll let you touch it. Okay, I want to see a circle first. Circle. Circle. No, just go over there. It's fine. You guys go right there. I'm going to go around. And that's what happened to the butter. And that's what happened to the chocolate in just 20 minutes of being outside. You think it got really hot? Because it's pretty hot outside, isn't it? Girls. Ainsley. Guys, is that what you should be doing while we're in a circle?
No.
No, we are not doing that. Everyone go have a seat. Why? Hey, what are we supposed to do when we sit down in our chairs? Zero voice when we sit down in our chairs. All right. All right, so now that we have done that, you guys are going to put your name on your paper, and you guys are going to circle which ones melted. And make sure you put your name on it. Okay? So I need passer outers up here. It should be Bailey and Jaden. Jaden, where's Jaden? I saw him. All right, go ahead and pass it out. Everyone else should be sitting in their seats quietly. You may grab a pencil. Let's go, baby. Pass them out. Guys, why is the noise so loud? Let's go.
You're garbage.
Once you get your paper, make sure you have your name on it. I really like how Allie already has her name on her paper and she's sitting and waiting. All right, when you're done with that, go ahead and put it in your mailbox. Put it in your mailbox when you're done. Good job, Jillian.
Are you done? Okay.
How long was it? All right. I am in kindergarten this year, and I did a science experiment. And in the science experiment, there were different objects, and the students had to predict whether they thought that the objects would melt or not. And so when I was doing my lesson plan, I know that for my behavior, I was going to do the same thing that my coordinating teacher does, which is the CHAMPS program that the Colby Public Schools has for their school. And this involves the students being at zero voice. They are not allowed to talk when the teacher is talking, unless they're called upon when their hand is raised. And so that's what I was planning on doing. And during the lesson, I felt like there was a lot of jumping around and not listening and not following directions and blurting just continuously. Like, it just seemed like that it carried on, that it didn't stop like it should have.
Like, it stopped for a while, and then something else would happen. They wouldn't follow directions, or someone would blurt the answer out like they weren't supposed to do. Now, how I think I went wrong was my coordinating teacher has been very clear with her students on what she expects from them when she is up there teaching. Because I am student teaching and I haven't really, taught them like she has yet, and they are used to her, I don't think they see my expectations yet, and I think that's what I need to do, is let them know that those are my expectations and that they need to follow them. Like, before I teach my next lesson, I need to let them know, all right, you need to stay in your seats. We are raising our hand. We are at 0 voice, and you will only talk when you are called upon. I need to make my rules very clear so that way they know what I expect of them. And in future lesson plans, I plan to do this, and I am hoping that they will be able to follow that and follow directions. I think with kindergarten 2, I made the mistake of, like, when kindergarten gets to touch things or interact with objects that you give them, they tend to go a little crazy and argue, and I think that's where I went wrong too. I think I need to find a better way of letting them all see it or see all the objects that were being melted, because they kind of were arguing over what to see, or that they wanted to see it during the experiment. They all wanted to touch it, and they were all arguing over they hadn't seen it yet. So I think next time I just need to hold it or find a way for it to work out better, because it just ended up being a mess that way. And because I was being timed on this lesson, I think it made it hard, because I was worried about, when they blurted it out, that's wasting more time, because I have to talk to them about how they need to make sure that they are raising their hand, and I think it just made it more difficult for me to make sure that I was making my time for this lesson, and making sure that I was doing what I was supposed to for my lesson, and making sure that my time was good. I think the behavior issues made it hard for me to do or teach my lesson. So next time I plan on making sure that they understand my rules better, and I make it clear to them what I expect of them. Thank you.